All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. I hope that everyone is doing well and having some positive thoughts. And I know it's been challenging time for a lot of us, and that's why I'm here today and with a guest who is my subscriber. His name is Joseph. And he felt like coming on and sharing some experiences with you. So, the first thing we're going to talk about today is experiences in Ukraine, ups and downs, developing trust, identify red flags, and just things like that. So, it's going to be casual conversation as usually. So, I hope you are comfortable with your cup of tea or coffee, or maybe something even stronger. And you enjoying your evening or day. So I'm gonna let Joseph introduce himself and share how he started the journey of Ukrainian dating.
Well, thank you very much. It is a very honor to be talking to you today, Veronika. I've been, like I said, like you said, I've been following you for quite some time, actually. So, my name is Joseph. I live in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, which is just outside of Albuquerque. I've been pretty much here my entire life. I was born in Texas, but parents moved over to New Mexico to get out of the tornadoes. So don't have any tornadoes over here, so which is kind of nice. I started my journey quite some time ago. I had told myself at a certain point in my life, if I wasn't married by 30, I'm going to go meet a Russian bride or go somewhere like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up getting married during that time. The marriage fell apart, didn't work out, and ended up getting divorced. My marriage was annulled. And there's something that drew me back because I started thinking about, I was like, well, maybe, what I was looking for was not, I was having a hard time finding here in the United States because I'm a
Mm-hmm.
very big person with family values. That's something that's really important to me. I want to have, a wife and children. So that's something I was looking for. And I noticed the older I got, the harder it was to find women that wanted the same thing around my age. So I was like, well, we're in this whole beautiful world wide web. So I started looking at different things. So I started watching YouTube videos about Ukraine, learning
Mm-hmm.
about the country, um, learning about the lifestyles, how people live. And then I stumbled upon your channel, Veronika, and I started watching. And it was about a year after my divorce. So now that's three years ago. So I did about a year of watching different YouTube videos, and I said, is this going to be the right journey for me? Because I know that there's going to be costs, there's going to be long distance, there's going to be K1 visas, there's going to be, financial support. So I had to make sure that this was going to be the right avenue for me. And so after a year of watching YouTube videos, I was like, all right, now I got to find something. So I did find a dating agency that's based out of Phoenix, Arizona. And so I contacted them. They kind of gave me some information. They're like, yes, you can send some messages to some ladies, but like they were like, we don't recommend that. They're like, you just need to you need to go to Ukraine. They're like, you can't try and find love as a keyboard Romeo is what they call it.
On the couch.
And, yeah. And so I was like, once I talked to them, I made my decision within about 2 months. I was like, okay, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was March of 2019 is when I said, all right, I'm going to Ukraine, and got everything all ready, got my passport renewed and all updated, and I flew to Ukraine in July of 2019. I was there for about 2 weeks, and it was this, meeting a lot of women, finding dates. I thought I found a good one. I was like, oh, we're getting along so well, and things just, there's a lot to do in Ukraine during the summer, especially because there's no pandemic going on. Last year there was plenty of things to do, and I really enjoyed it. One of the things I really enjoyed with the ladies that I did date out there was they were just excited to show me their city, because I went to Kiev, I went to Nikolaev, and I also went to Odessa. And so it was an amazing thing meeting a few women, and they were just excited to show me their city, excited to show. They're like, wow, someone from the US is coming here. And because I had things planned, and some of them took charge right away. They're like, no, I want to show you this. I want to show you all this. And we had a great time. And so I ended up keeping in contact with a lady afterwards, and I had serious intentions. I was like, wow, she's, things are going well, and then for just, some odd reason, there just had this little funny feeling in my gut, and I had reached out and sent you an email about some concerns I had. And the lady was just, every time I talked about that about coming to the United States, it was always like, my parents are sick, and I don't think I know I can't leave them right now. And then you posted that YouTube video about that conversation, and it's just, something was just strange. And so I kind of did some more digging around about that.
I want to ask you a question. When you start to doubt, when she said, oh, my parents, and it is a big question about parents. We're gonna maybe talk about this separately, but have you felt that you need to keep going? How long did it take you basically to realize that, she's not serious? I know I did the video, you reached out to me, and I thought it would be a good video because, as a woman myself, it was time when I needed to take some decisions. And those are tough decisions, but, I was sharing in the videos that when you're really serious, you realize you've grown, and you have to, your parents had you, so they had to separate from their parents and, do something else. Of course, ties in Ukraine, family ties are stronger, and it's different when you live across the street, or even in one town, or even in one country or state, than you live over the ocean. So it does have its challenges. But how long, because a lot of men waste a lot of time by trying to make something works that's not going to work. How long did it take you after I made the video and shared that, well, it's probably an excuse? How long did it take you to move on and start to look for more options? And I know it's painful because you already set your heart on her. So how did that go for you? How long did it take for you to
It took me a couple months to kind of, because I was sending emails, trying to figure things out. And the more communication I get, it was just more, it's like coming up with excuses. It's like you come down to this point. I'm like, yeah, you're an adult now. It's time to do things that are going to make you happy. I said, we can't always satisfy our parents sometimes, even though I've gotten to plenty of arguments with my parents, but, we're family. We get over it. We move on from it. I've moved away. They've moved away. That's life, And so I started reaching out, and things got weird. So what brought me to a lot of this conclusion is I actually reached out to a couple of her friends on Instagram, and I was talking to one of them, and I was just like, hey, and I introduced myself, and they're like, actually, we actually became really good friends. There's a photographer in Poltava that I became really good friends with through this. And come to find out, just to put it all in a nutshell, because it was quite a bit of conversation, found out that she actually had a boyfriend in Ukraine, and did not share it, did not go anywhere. And it was just, yeah, did it hurt? It hurt. But I look back on it and I'm like, I was so thankful, because you hear about these scams that happen in Ukraine. You hear about them. They are real. They're out there. And the thing is that I made a good friend, because he could have been in on it for all I know. He could have been like, oh yeah, no, she's fine. She's in love with you. But he actually said, he's like, Joseph, you're a really good guy. I like you. And I just want to let you know. And I was really appreciative of that. And
so if I can make a remark, we just talked before the video, and I shared that I often feel like I'm a surgeon, like I have to cut the cancer out so the patient will survive and thrive. But you have to dive one time deep, figure out the problem, and get free, resolve it, or realize it, then resolve it. And so basically you had an opportunity to talk, with some common people you have, because you were confused. But really, even if you wouldn't talk to them, because most people won't be able to do this, right? And also, it's not always something you can do, because it involves other people and can create some, I'm glad for you that it kind of added the last drop in your doubts, but really, I have this channel because I want people to understand that their feelings are valid. You're not always going to have proofs for things, it's never 100% in a stamp, the golden seal for something. But when something is not aligning, something is not something is not progressing, it could be a problem. Of course, she's not going to tell you she has another boyfriend. But the other thing is, there is this unwritten rule, before you engaged and married, it's not necessarily a lie, because you have your options open, she has your options open, so it's, people are trying what works best for them. And I don't necessarily think that people need to report on what they're doing, because when you go to the store and you look at different brands, other brands don't sue you because you choose some other brand. So in the early stages of relationship, you making your choices. Then once you made the commitment, that's a little bit different. So my point here is this: you're not always going to have proof of somebody maybe either being not serious or being interested in somebody else, but you don't have to have somebody permission or validation to change your plans. When you are thinking long term, when you offering a lady, future, if she would be really interested, she would say, I do have this problem with my parents. What could we do about it? Instead of just saying, oh, this is a problem, so I don't know. There is always something to do about it. She could say, Joseph, I want to be with you. How could we support my parents? How often can I visit? Or could we move my parents to US eventually? So that would be a real conversation. If the lady avoids this conversation, it means this is just an excuse, because the problem is real. I'm from Ukraine and I know things about parents are real. But when you are serious about the man or about the woman, you're looking for a solution.
No, I absolutely agree. And it's just, and I know that not every, all the times you get that validation. I'm a detective, just like you are, like a surgeon. I'm a detective when it comes to this stuff. I will, I look at things, especially because, with things being on social media, everything's out there. Everything is, especially for some people, is that they live for social media. And And that's one of the things is that, that's how I was able to connect with some people, and that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it provided me some validation to close it. But yeah, I already had that feeling,
Mm-hmm.
in my gut saying that there's just something wrong. And,
Right.
and that's one thing that I did moving forward, because, I said that this, yeah, cut off communication. And then I started, reaching out to a few new ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time I could just, there was there was one that just was just like, yeah, just all the ones that I met after that, like, are like, get over here. This was even during the height of the pandemic. They're like, yes,
Mm-hmm.
if you can come to Ukraine, come to Ukraine. They weren't making excuses for like, oh, don't travel. It's, if they're like,
Uh-huh.
if you can travel, get here safely, we'll be more than happy to meet with you.
That's, you
And
know what, that is a really good point. I think that could be our next discussion about traveling and meeting and still living life during pandemic. I'm super excited to have that conversation. And I think to wrap this one up, would be, I would just say that don't waste too much time when when you're not sure about where things going. I am more than happy to help you, and I honestly do not need to be a detective. That's my thing. I just know how women's mind works, and I can help you from my perspective, and you can take your decision. On the other hand, I know men are more into logic and more into having proofs for things, and this is sometimes when you can get stuck because you may not have opportunity to do that. To me, it's kind of in a way below. I feel when your needs are not met, then doing all these researches, I know men need that proof to move on, but I also think it's a waste of time. If I'm not happy in a relationship, I'm not gonna be looking for proofs on what's going on with somebody else. I'm gonna say personally that, you know what, I don't feel satisfied. This is not my needs are not met. So unfortunately I have to move on. I don't need to ask a permission. A lot of men who reach out to me, it's almost they ask a permission to move on, or they ask for validation. But if things are not progressing with the timeline you have in mind, because this is a long distance, so things there is a lot to unfold before you can even be together. So that is my thing, is that I could help you, but if you want to do it yourself, you also can do that. You just have to be logical, and there is certain process. There is a science to this madness, right? There is a science to this madness. And I'm gonna give last word to Joseph to wrap it up and tell like his maybe advice to you guys who are just in the beginning of this journey.
yeah, it's very important. And all I can say is trust your gut. If something feels wrong, just get out. It's better to, just cut the wound and then just, because it'll heal. You'll get over it. You'll be able to move on. And that's just one of the biggest things. And don't be worried about, oh, this is the most beautiful woman in the world. You know believe me, there's plenty of beautiful women in the world. And you'll definitely move on. And there is one out there for you. And when you find it, you will know.
Yes, you will know. I agree with that. She's gonna give you signs that things are progressing, and everything won't be a battle. If everything is a battle and you are in pain, most of the time it may be just not a match for you. And I totally agree with Joseph. There is someone for everyone. There is someone for everyone. And when things are getting very complex and everything is a problem, it's just a sign that you are, with a you you put effort in the wrong place. And it's not being a quitter. It just being able to identify where you're not a match. So I have to say that it's really important to do the self analytics, you know. And also, guys, please don't think that I am ever judging you, you know. If I am ever, you know, some people reach out to me and say, well, you know, I was waiting 6 months because I didn't want to look like an idiot, or I didn't want to be, you know. But this is what I am doing. I'm getting paid for this. So if you know everything yourself and you never need an advice, then I will have nobody coming on and listening. And I am not to judge. I'm here to help, because you have your perspective as a man, but I'm saying it's easy because I am a woman, and I know when the woman is really struggling and telling you the truth, or and when she tells you the problem, but she doesn't really want to resolve that issue. She just use it as an excuse. But meanwhile, you know, you are sitting there and think you are in a relationship. So with that being said, I want to thank you, Joseph, for sharing his experiences. And if you like these videos and if you want to have more guests on the videos, please let me know in the comments. If you have a question to Joseph, if you start in your journey, write it in the comments. You know, he may respond. And if you like this kind of videos, we can record some more. So thank you so much for joining. And I will wait to hear from you guys. And thank you for being part of this once again. And to the next time.